Hello everybody, my name is Mahogany Lee, and today for this final presentation, my last presentation, I want to discuss identities, new millennium identities, key contributors into that, and also key contributors into how music innovation moves from the underground into mainstream. We can start off with the new millennium identities. A key contributor will have to be social media and the internet, of course. With the evolution of that, kind of just took over everything. We now have social media influencers who dress a certain way, speak a certain way, or listen to certain type of music. All of those things kind of play into these new millennium identities. I can say they really kind of go for individual identities. Just how, like, early on in, I can't remember the year, but magazines, when they first were, being printed and stuff, we have models who look a certain way, dress a certain way, and we have people who look to those because that's what's in style, that's what's trending, that's what's hot right now, that's what's getting attention, drawn to people. And so these people who I wouldn't even just say that they want attention, but they want to fit into and have their foot into that trend, kind of look towards that. Like, I could say not a few years ago, but a couple of centuries or whenever, their magazines is now our social media. So we have it at our fingertips where we can roll over out of bed, scroll on Instagram, see what's hot, or scroll on Twitter and see what's in, and a new dress that Taylor Swift is wearing. It's hot, it's going viral, people are talking about it, tweeting about it. I'm about to go get that new dress. That dress doesn't identify, but it does show how much influence one person could have on an individual, and even in groups. We have people who look at certain groups like One Direction and how their music style is and how they dress. You might have somebody who just loves One Direction and they're like, we need what they have on, and they go and get it. So I would say that's how self is kind of like is a declaration through the standardizing of dressing. Language, not so much. I could say probably the way how people talk sometimes. Like, I've seen videos of people trying to like mimic other influencers or other people and try and sound like them. I could say it's the same thing. Or even just little funny videos, TikToks that get repeated and then they go viral. It's all in the same thing, and they do have an impact on the new millennium these days. Now we can talk about the innovation, how musical innovation moves from underground to mainstream. So I put for that key contributor would be distributing companies. What I mean by that is like DistroKid and TuneCore. These companies like those is really how underground music kind of comes into mainstream. There's a thing on TuneCore and on DistroKid too, I believe, that's like if you release some music through them, that you can also see who else releases music using that same platform. So it's like a networking platform, but not really. You can't message and reach out to somebody, but you can discover them on that platform. And yeah, again, social media like YouTube, SoundCloud, anything, TikTok, like files that are being shared, Spotify, all of these platforms that we have, they they move underground music into mainstream. I remember his name is Tuesday Two Times. It's one of my favorite artists of all time. Before he got into mainstream, he was out of Raleigh, North Carolina, and his music was really trending on YouTube. It was YouTube and SoundCloud that really had most of his listeners on there. And he got discovered eventually by Capitol Records. So once he released one album, and it took off. Like, it just takes that certain kind of buzz, listeners, support that helps music that's underground, that most people are already listening to, but they haven't gotten to mainstream. He's now on the radio. He's now, like I said, at Capitol Records, making more music with other artists that are already in mainstream. So you have an underground artist that goes into mainstream and then thrives in it. So I could say it's a good thing to watch. I like the process of them myself. Just to see that happen. I really do hope, like, most people can get their music up off of SoundCloud and things of that sort, and kind of move towards those platforms that has those listeners that people use every day to listen to their music. So yes, that is all that I had. Again, like I said, social media really just plays a huge part in both of these topics, I feel like. And without it, I'm not even sure where we would be right now in this new millennium stage. Just a lot going on right now, and even just with the pandemic and stuff, having to rely on social media to people to keep their jobs and things of that sort. Like, for music too, especially throughout the pandemic, a lot of artists relied on social media to keep their follows, their listeners, their engagement from people all across the world. I remember Kehlani, she was doing she had to do a quarantine music video that she produced herself. And it's like, these artists who are big had to become innovative and create their own content to put out there for their fans to listen to. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's a great thing. I feel like a good thing to note and to kind of remember and see, especially now during this time. So yeah, that's all for me. I hope you guys had a great semester. Mahogany is out.